Hola y buenos días. Soy el señor Morris. Soy el maestro de español. ¿Cómo están? ¿Están bien? Espero que sí. Today, we'll review again and then talk about another way that we use plants. And I'll show you an activity that you can do in your class to play and review at the same time. Pero primero, vamos a cantar nuestra canción de saludos. Canten conmigo. Buenos días, ¿cómo está? ¿Cómo está? Muy bien, gracias, muy bien, gracias. ¿Y usted? ¿Y usted? Good morning, how are you? How are you? Very well, I thank you, very well, I thank you. And you, and you. Muy bien. Well, I tell you what, let's go ahead and start off by reviewing the parts of the plant. And this was something that we talked about right when we began this unit. I'm going to give you some choices, and I want to see if you can help me identify these things. How about this one? Is this el sol o la planta? ¿Es el sol o es la planta? Do you know what that is? Sí, es la planta. Es la planta. I bet you got that one right. A little bit trickier. ¿Esta es la raíz o es la hoja? ¿La raíz o la hoja? Raise your hand and tell your teacher. Teachers, did they say la raíz? La raíz. Yeah, this is the root of the plant that goes down into the dirt, isn't it? La raíz. How about this? Is this part la flor o el tallo? ¿Es la flor o el tallo? Can you figure that out? Do you remember that? Tell your teacher. Teachers, did your students say that this is el tallo? El tallo. Yeah, the stem of the plant is the tallo. What about this part? Is this la hoja o es el pétalo? What part do you think that is? La hoja o el pétalo? Raise your hand. Teachers, go ahead and call on someone or have your whole class answer if they think they know. And did they say la hoja? Esta es la hoja de la planta. Yeah. How about this part? Is this la planta o es el pétalo? La planta o el pétalo? Do you know what that is? Raise your hand and tell your teacher. And teachers, did the students say el pétalo? El pétalo. Yeah, this is just one petal off of the flower, isn't it? Yeah, el pétalo. And how about this part? Esta es la flor o esta es la raíz? What part of the plant is this? La flor o la raíz? What do you think? Raise your hand and tell your teacher. Teacher, did your students say la flor? La flor. Did they get that one right? Muy bien. Well, you know, we also talked about the things that a plant needs to live. Remember? We looked at those and kind of even did an experiment. Well, I tell you what, let's go ahead and look at those again right now. ¿Qué necesita la planta para crecer? ¿Qué necesita la planta para crecer? ¿Qué, what, necesita, does it need, la planta, the plant, para crecer, for, to grow? So what does it need the plant for to grow? Or what does a plant need to grow? And we talked about all of these things. Do you remember what these are called? Well, let's see. How about this? Is this la tierra o es el agua? What do you think this is inside of this pot? ¿Es la tierra o es el agua. Do you remember that? Raise your hand. Tell your teacher. And teachers, did the students say la tierra? La tierra. Did they say that? Good. How about this? Is this el aire or is this el sol? El aire o el sol? What do you think this is? El sol. El sol, that's right, the sun. Because plants need sunshine to grow. How about this? Is this la lluvia o la tierra? La lluvia o la tierra? Do you remember? Raise your hand, tell your teacher. 1, 2, 3. Es la lluvia. Es la lluvia. That's right. How about this one? See what's coming out there? Is that el aire or is that el agua? El aire o el agua? What do you think? Raise your hand. Tell your teacher. Teacher, did the students say el agua? El agua, sure, water. And it might come from the rain, la lluvia, or it might come out of a watering can like this, right? So it just depends where it gets it, but it's going to need it, right? And there's one last thing that we talked about. Is this el sol o el aire? What else do plants need? They need this. Is this el sol or is this el aire? Go ahead and raise your hand. Tell your teachers. Okay. Teachers, did your students say that this is el aire? El aire. So how are you guys doing? Are you getting pretty good at recognizing those? I bet you're doing fine. Right now, I'd like for you to review with these videos. So, presten atención y repitan todos.
La planta.
¿Cuáles son las partes de la planta? La raíz, el tallo, la hoja, el pétalo, la flor. ¿Qué necesita la planta para crecer? El sol, el agua o la lluvia, la tierra, el aire.
All right, now we've talked about the plants that we eat. Remember, frutas y verduras. And we talked about plants that we use for medicine. And remember, we made some té. We talked about the artistic value of plants. Remember all the flowers that we saw in that video that were painted on pots and on musical instruments and that? But we also use plants for many practical, everyday uses. For example, when you write down something on paper, do you know what paper is made out of? Trees. Sure, paper towels, paper plates, all of those things are made out of trees. And how many of you live in houses that are made out of wood? Probably a lot of you, huh? So plants are used for a lot of different things. Well, I tell you what, does anyone know what this is? Can you see it there? Yeah. Looks kind of like a hairy marshmallow or something. Huh? Well, if you said it was a hairy marshmallow, you're wrong. This is a cotton ball. Yeah, a cotton ball. Yeah. Did you know that cotton is a plant? Yeah. And if you unroll the cotton ball, you'll see the cotton has these long fibers. Have you ever seen that? Yeah, they're kind of like threads, right? Pues en español son fibras. Fibras. Can you say that? And do you hear how fibras and fibers sound a lot alike? Yeah. Pues las plantas nos dan fibras. Plants give us fibers, right? Las plantas nos dan fibras para hacer muchas cosas. We can make a lot of things out of plant fibers. Some of them come from cotton. Some of them come from other plants to make things like this. Yeah. Do you see the fibers here on this one? Yeah? Do you see that? What is this? A paintbrush. All right. En español es una brocha. Una brocha. Can you say that? Brocha, brush. Do you hear how those kind of sound alike? Brochas vienen de las fibras. We get fibers to make these out of. The Native Americans and even people in all over the world, I guess, started off by making their paintbrushes out of fibers from plants. Las plantas nos dan fibras para hacer. Can you see what this is? Yeah, do you know what that is? This is a brush too. This type of brush is called un cepillo. Estos son cepillos. Can you say that? Cepillos. And you see the double L there. It sounds like a Y again. Cepillos. As a matter of fact, un cepillo is a toothbrush. Cepillo is a toothbrush. Not like this unless you have a really big mouth. But cepillo is also the word for toothbrush. From those fibers that we get from cotton, we can also get things like this. Ropa. Ropa. Ropa is clothing. And this is a t-shirt that I brought in. 100% algodón, 100% cotton. And can you see mine? This one says, ¿Cómo te sientes hoy? How do you feel today? And you can see all of these different faces. You say, oh, I feel tired or confused or excited or suspicious. Yeah, all of these things. You might have a t-shirt kind of like this at home, only in English. And you can look at some of your clothes and see back here on the label if it says that they're made out of cotton, which is a plant. So we make this out of a plant, and there's something else that we can make out of a plant using the fibers. There you go. What is this? What is this? This is a broom. Escobas. Escobas vienen de las fibras de las plantas. We get the fibers for a lot of brooms from plants, and you can see this one is a plant. Sometimes they're made out of synthetics nowadays, but this is actually a plant broom. You'll see a lot of these around. You may have one at your home. Go and check. And do you know what you use escobas for? For cleaning up. So I tell you what, while I'm cleaning up my classroom here, why don't we go ahead and get started on our activity sheet right now. It's called Las Fibras, or the fibers. Yeah, well, go ahead and start off by putting your name up at the top. Voy a escribir mi nombre. R O B E R T O. Don't forget to keep practicing all during the year. All for the rest of the year. ¿Cómo te llamas? And then you can say your name in Spanish. Me llamo Roberto. Okay? So you guys don't forget to do that. Now, the instructions say, plant fibers are used for many things. Match the picture to its name with a line. Okay, well, let's look at what we have here. There, now we can see the whole thing. What is this? A dress, right? Clothes. What is this? A broom. A broom. What is this? A brush like a scrub brush. And how about this one down here? A brush like a paintbrush. That's right. Now let's look at the word over here. Help me read these guys. Escoba. Can you say that? Escoba. Brocha. Go ahead. Brocha. Ropa. And you get to roll that first R. Ropa. Okay. Cepillo. Cepillo. Okay. Now, do any of those look familiar to you? Do you think you remember any of those? Let's see. I think I remember one right offhand. It was what I used to sweep up here in my classroom. So I used a broom, and do you remember what that was called? Escoba. Escoba. And now a brush. A brush. Remember I said, what is your toothbrush called? Your toothbrush would be called cepillo. So the brush is a cepillo. Now, brush, like a paintbrush, starts off with a BR sound, and it does in Spanish too. Paintbrush is brocha. Brocha. So that just leaves one. The dress, clothing, made out of cotton or other fibers, is called ropa. So go ahead and draw a line down to the word ropa. Yeah, and that was our activity sheet for today. That wasn't too bad, was it? Now, as I told you at the beginning of the lesson, I want to show you a game that you can play in your classroom, okay? It's called ¿Quién tiene? Or Who has? Now, teachers, the way you play is to get some of the things that we've talked about in the class. You can use a cepillo or a brocha. You can use algodón. You can use fibras, like we've talked about. You can even use the pictures from the Learning Partner Guidelines, the teacher's guide. You can give the pictures out if you want to. Now, the teacher will ask a question, ¿Quién tiene la brocha? Okay, so everybody gets something, and the teacher says, ¿Quién tiene la brocha? Okay, do you know what la brocha is? You remember? I've got mine for painting. Yeah. Now, if you know who has the thing that the teacher is asking about, when the teacher says, ¿Quién tiene la brocha? Raise your hand and tell the teacher, Miguel, or whoever. If you want to, maybe the teacher will let you ask a question about who has something. Give it a try in your classroom and see how it works. It's a good way to review some of the things that we've been talking about. Speaking of review, ahora el repaso. Today we talked about many different things obtained from fibers, which are found in many kinds of plants. Some of these things are very useful, and others are very beautiful and make nice decorations. During this unit, I hope that you've seen what wonderful things plants are. Without them, our lives would be very different or even impossible. Las plantas nos dan frutas y verduras, hierbas, medicina, ropa, muchas cosas, a lot of things. Next lesson is our review lesson for our last unit of the year. Be sure to have your lotería boards ready so that you can play along with me. Okay? Ahora, la despedida. Canten conmigo la canción de despedida. Adiós, queridos amigos, que les vaya muy, muy bien. Adiós, queridos amigos, y cuídense también. Very good. Don't forget to get your lotería boards ready for our next lesson. And until then, adiós, queridos amigos.